Hello, and I'm live. My name is Jessica, and this is J. Gilly Tarot. I'm a psychic medium. You may book a personal reading with me at any time at jgilly.com. That's JGILLY.com. All right, so I know I'm probably not going to get a lot of viewers because of the World Cup game today, but I had a nap today and I got a visit from Charlie Kirk again unexpectedly. And I gotta say, I don't think he was too enthused. He came in correcting me. So I wanted to pop on here and do like a mini live stream and just kind of off the rip um, pull a couple of cards and channel some clarifications that maybe I forgot to touch upon yesterday or Wednesday. It was Wednesday. That felt like yesterday. But anyway, so the first thing that I got was today when I was napping, the Birkin bag. I was like asking him, how is this connected to symbolism? What is it signifying? Like, why is this so significant? Why is this black Birkin bag with gold hardware haunting me? And I got immediately a connection to Russia. So I was like, let me just Google this. Is there any connection to symbolism of the Freemasons or the Illuminati, allegedly? Again, this is for all entertainment purposes only. This is not fact, just my psychic opinion. And I got an interesting search back. So it says the combination of these elements originates from the internet conspiracy theories of the Hermes Birkin bag to symbolize extreme elite wealth. Because it is unattainable to the masses, online subcultures conflate that this elite status with Illuminati and Freemasons symbol is interpreted as massive wealth and signs of occult control. The Birkin bag, originally named after British actress and singer Jane Birkin, its exclusivity, $10,000 to $500,000 plus, has made it the ultimate indicator of the 1%. In conspiracy circles, ostentatious wealth is frequently attributed to shadowy cabals, giving the Birkin a mythos of hidden power. And it says, it's talking about the Illuminati and Freemason, like secret society in Bavaria, heavily intertwining conspiracy lore with Freemasons. The all-seeing eye and specific geometric shapes are widely claimed by theorists to be flaunted by celebrities and the wealthy to show their allegiance. Okay, so that makes sense. I also, in the first episode, accidentally said Hermes bag instead of Birkin, and it looks like here there's a connection to Hermes Birkin bag. So maybe they collaborate. I didn't know that. Obviously, I can't afford those bags. They're a little bit too conservative looking for my style anyway. But I like a good, like, real leather satchel. That's my personal vibe. Obviously, I like the 70s fashion. Okay, ultimately the connection between French handbag, Freemasonry, and Russia is purely allegorical. Okay, we'll take it. It's a modern manifestation of how people use conspiracy theories to make sense of global wealth, inequality, and celebrity culture. Well, it's very interesting because I just channeled Russia. Like, I have no idea that I don't know the origins of a Birkin bag. I just want to know why that's so significant with Erika Kirk. And yeah. So there's something connected to Russia and the bag, symbolizing maybe her transport. You know, maybe it's connected to Epstein. I'm sure you guys know more on the facts, so put it in the chat Hi, Steve. How's it going? Thanks for joining, guys. Yes, happy Friday and happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Oh, I love you too. Fallout. Um, okay, so, oh, and Benny Boy, hi. So, there's one more. Garrett Jones. I arranged to meet my date at the gym. She didn't show. I guess it's a sign we weren't gonna work out. Yeah, maybe sometimes rejection is divine protection, Garrett. It happens. I hope you still worked out though. Maybe God was just trying to get you to the gym. Okay, so back to Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk. Okay. What I got when I was napping today was one for the books. This is allegedly for entertainment purposes only, but I was watching a Baron Coleman episode. I only got like through the first 20 minutes of it because literally my eyes crossed and I get a headache. He's a genius and amazing, him and Candace Owens, with the facts, but it's just like it does my head in whenever they're like they have their charts of the flight times and all that stuff. I was just like, I can't even stay on track with them because there's so many details. My eyes would be crossed by the end of it. It's a good thing I'm psychic, huh? So, um, yeah, I got 2 corrections from Charlie Kirk, and he said, the December 25th, you took it as a date. And I feel whenever I watched the Baron Coleman episode, I realized that the plane that was taken or that was in question took off at 12:23. And I kept getting the number 12:25, and I assumed it was December 25th. Now, this is where, as a psychic medium, I try to not translate. It always shoots me in the foot. When I get numbers and dates, I don't even try to assume what it is. I just have to go in blindly and trust the information as it comes and put it together later. It's like a scavenger hunt. That's how I do all my readings. And so I was thinking about 12:25 and I was like, so, okay, if the flight is in the air or taking off at 12:23, like, why do I keep getting a significant pointing to the number 12:25? And then suddenly I got an image of Erika and Andrew Colvett. And this is allegedly, but I pulled up a picture of both of them. And for some reason, there's an energy signature that's similar between them. Much like a couple that is having, intimate relations. Whenever I read like married couples and things like that, it's often like an energy that's merged like a tree trunk. So I can see their individual personalities, but in the root chakra and lower chakras, they're kind of like merged and switched. And in fact, sometimes I will channel and switch the zodiac signs of a married couple if they're very close and like best friends and stuff. And what was interesting when I looked at I kept getting this feeling that there was like an affair or something, or that they had intimate relations, Andrew and Erika. And I just kept looking at the picture and I was like, they kind of look like the same to me in the face, which is, if you ever, know long-standing married couples, they start to look alike, right? Because they're so intertwined energetically. And I just couldn't shake this feeling that there is some hidden relationship going on with them. Now, I don't think that is the affair that I was channeling or referring to, connected to Charlie's alleged son. But I did feel like I started watching a couple more clips of Andrew and Erika's like interviews. There's a little bit of flirtation that goes on, and he's so protective of her. Yeah, I mean, they work together, but it almost feels like he was sent in and has been there from the beginning, having a relationship with Erika. I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts? Put it in the chat. Put a 1 if you agree with me, and a 2 if you don't think there's anything, suspect there. But if that's the case, and that would make sense why it's so hard to nail down which flight Andrew Colvett took. And that's just like my psychic opinion. Like I said, I'm too lazy of a psychic to sit there and go through like 4-hour interview, like, fact checking videos. I dip in and out. I get what I need psychically and then I leave. And I'm sorry, that's just how I roll because I can't give too much of my time to it, and I got to trust what I get. But it was significant enough, and I took a fourth look at it, and I was like, energetically, I kept looking at their faces, and how they smile and talk to each other. I don't want to start any rumors, but it's not looking good, folks. I haven't heard about any of the Russian connections. I saw that it was specifically to Erika. So maybe there is like a charity or foundation or something connected to Erika, and there significantly the Birkin bag was a symbolism of like who owned her or who was calling the shots in those dealings with Russia. That's what I'm getting. And possibly it was within the last 10 years. Just got that. So there's that. Then he dropped some knowledge, some wisdom on me, and he was like, I saw a vision of the first channeling I ever had of him, like when I was unexpectedly was having a nap, and I pulled the Necronomicon card from the Illuminati World Order deck. Yeah. So, and I was like, you know what is this card? Let me look this up. And it says, the Necronomicon is a fictional grimoire book of magic created by horror writer H.P. Lovecraft. Okay. The fascinating thing is that I have watched, I think it was on HBO, maybe Showtime, but I've watched the Lovecraft series. I loved it. And it was about the book of dead names. And it was this book that everyone was like trying to hide and trying to steal. And it was ancient knowledge. It says, first mentioned in his 1924 short story, The Hound, it serves as an archetypal book of forbidden knowledge, detailing the history of the old ones and containing dangerous spells that drives its readers insane. Lovecraft didn't just invent the book, he gave it an elaborate backstory to make it feel authentic. In the Lovecraftian universe, it was supposedly written in the 8th century by a mad poet named Abdul al-Hazred, originally under the Arabic title of Kitab al-Azif. The original Arabic version was lost. It was translated into Greek in the 10th century by Theodorus Philetus. Philetus, I don't know. The title Necronomicon is said to roughly translate to the Book of the Dead Names. Reading the book is highly discouraged, as the comic secret suggests that within it generally causes individuals to lose their sanity. The real book and pop culture. Many fans believe that the book actually existed. This led to several real-life publishers and authors releasing book titles, Necronomicon, the most famous being 1977 release attributed to Simon. So that's really also very interesting. And I do feel he also showed me the Bible, and he was showing me how a lot of the Freemasons and um this questionable people in this network that unalived him. He was showing me how there's two sides to every coin and how they invert the very things that humans cling to for stability, for peace, for heaven on earth, and for family units. And I felt like he was trying to convey to me energetically and visually. He was like, the Bible teaches us through the Psalms and the verses, the prayer is the magic that keeps us connected to God, to light. And the Freemasons use it as the Necronomicon. They invert it and use it as dark magic for their monetary gain and for war. And I was like, that makes sense. And then I saw like the Buddhist middle way, and he was like, it's not a straight walk down the middle way. It is a spiral. And then I saw a DNA helix. And then I heard that's how you time travel. And I was like, what? So everything has two sides to the coin, right? And it's all about the intention of, and that's I think why I channeled um that's why I channeled a scalpel can be used both for good, to kill, but also to heal, both for good and evil. It's all in the intention of how you pick it up and use your tool and use your weapon. And so there's been a lot of flipping, was the download I got today from his message, that the higher everyone climbs in this story, that you're going to get more minions of power that close in and try to flip people. And so there was this kind of warning or sense of warning I got. I was immediately feeling that Charlie Kirk was almost like territorial of Candace. And then I got a vision of, no, I heard Sean, the name Sean. And so I was like flipping through and wanted to see if I could find anything with Candace or the name associated with Charlie Kirk, Sean. And I saw that there was a recent interview with Candace. And I watched just a little bit of it. And the only part that I saw was the part where she was referencing Trump and how she went to go get confirmed by a cardinal in Italy. And then I felt that feeling of territorialism around her. Now, I'm sure her head is on a swivel, but I was quite concerned about that. Just having grown up being Catholic myself, when you get into those high up circles, there is a lot of ST and SA behind the scenes, allegedly. And he wanted, I'm getting right now as I'm channeling, he wants to keep an eye on the mission on freeing children and saving children and the people trapped in these systems that are innocent victims behind the veil, behind the wall of the illusion, and to stop the transport. That and the payouts. That was the big thing that I got. So wanted to pop on here and share that. And somehow the Birkin bag is very significant with all of this. Somehow. All right, let's see what y'all got to say. What is your name? My name is Jessica. Barbara O'Connor. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not far off. Y'all agree? There's like an energy signature. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yay. I agree. I agree. I think that's probably whenever there's any type of cover up and TPUSA is going off the rails with their lies and like sticking to it, even though it's very obvious that nothing adds up. No, there's like absolutely no good rebuttal. Uh, they just kind of look like juvenile. Um, call it amnesia. I don't know. Call it slightism. I don't know. But their feedback to Candace Owens and replies just don't make sense. They don't make sense. But ridiculous. All right. So put your QQQs in the chat. We can ask the cards some questions. Oh, and that was another thing. The second thing I got. Okay, so in my first reading with Charlie Kirk, I didn't even remember this, but I got that she was in fact cloned and not mind controlled. And then in Wednesday's reading, I got him flip flopped. I said she was mind controlled, that I didn't think she was cloned yet. So that was significant. That's what Charlie was wanting to hone in and wanting me to be specific about. So I do feel that there are two versions of Erika Kirk. However, I feel like this one right now is the original one that is mind controlled. Somewhere along the way, the one that we got introduced to, or the watered down version, was a clone. And I think that was the one that Charlie maybe courted. But there was a very big shift that happened when they were married, is what I'm getting. So that was to clarify, because I want to like really be authentic and transparent. And, sometimes whenever I get stuff, like when it comes through with conviction, I got to trust it. And so there's that. Now, on top of that, and he just said, you can't be cloned without being mind controlled. Touche. So, yeah, that's a good point. So y'all put Q in the chat if you have any suggestions for questions. I'm going to pull from the pop art deck. What do you want us to know about this case and the information that's just been released? Justice. Efforts in love being acknowledged, treating with fairness, integrity, in the workplace being recognized, achieving financial balance, and giving and receiving. Okay, so what I immediately got from him was that when he was in charge of TPUSA, he wanted to make sure that everything was fair, that the mission stayed on point and alive. And I think that's why he didn't want to say yes to the deal or something, and why he was unalived, because the efforts behind the investments, or he didn't trust the intentions. It wasn't financially balanced, I heard him say. Okay. I just pulled the moon. That's a cool card. That's the first time I've pulled that one. And The Hierophant in reverse. Immediately what I get from this is something has happened based on negotiations with off-worlders and the other side of the moon. He did have doubts about Erika, I'm also getting, and when there was ambiguity in when it came to her career path, is what he's saying. But insufficient financial knowledge? Interesting. Bureaucratic obstacles. She takes alternative financial avenues. Well, that seems very obvious. Is turning point involved in child? We know the rest. ... So I'm getting not directly, but with its associated investors and other companies connected. In particular, I'm getting drawn to the charity department head or the nonprofit charitable donations or something, that department, that branch, whoever's in charge of that, I don't know. And who that person is connected to. There's about 3 other companies financially backing. And I do remember I was channeling in my first couple of episodes something to do with real estate. Does this have to do with real estate? Is one of these companies real estate? Yes. And there's 3 of cups again, so that confirms the 3 companies. Was Erika an op or plant put in his path? I think she was a plant. And who set up the date with Erika? And if it's Andrew Colvat, that's gonna smell very fishy. Do you know who set up the first date with Erika and Charlie? Actually, I'm gonna say she kind of like was I mean, I would say that an op and a plant are like the same thing. Like, I think she was put in his path, but I think she was also secretly working against him in opposition, keeping a pulse, but trying to be his handler, probably. Bye, Steve. Tyler Boyer. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, there's some connection with Andrew Colvat that I feel that he's having allegedly. There's been intimate relations with Erika. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm feeling. Let's see, what else? Also, I kept getting ST and SA as initials that were significant. It could have been that he was just trying to confirm the transport and abuse, because that's the initials they use on YouTube, so that the videos aren't flagged. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, oh, duh. Sometimes I'm such a dumb blonde. Maybe the TPUSA faith department. Oh, okay. CO mentioned pastors being shady. Ooh. Yep. Ace of Wands. Earning money, yeah. Also, I just heard nuclear power plants. He's concerned about nuclear power plants right now. Reactions to nuclear power plants. There's a lot of pressure surrounding this. I'm also hearing him say something about the economy. There's a lot of pressure. There's going to be a lot of pressure put on the economy or demand, something like that, in terms of the nuclear power plants, that everyone needs to stand up for justice with this financial sovereignty. It's designed to put pressure in on our pockets. I just heard him say. What else do we need to know? Yeah, there's a big message today for standing up, speaking out with everything that you see that's inconsistent in your everyday life. Making decisions to be more self-sufficient. Also just got confirmation that his son is not genetically his. That keeps coming through so loud and strong. Okay, I have a good one, a good question to ask. Why did it come through that with Cam's question about Candace Owens being frozen? Why did that come through as a maybe? What do you clarify, please? Possibly her DNA is frozen, some of her DNA, so that's why it came through as a maybe. I got the 10 of Pentacles, and to me, it's just popping out all the pentacles. So it could be like egg. You know, a lot of people, unfortunately, don't realize when their DNA is being stored, in my opinion, my humble opinion. And especially with Candace Owens, like, you know, DNA and notoriety, I'm sure she's got a lot of stuff stored that she doesn't know about. That's why you got to always ask questions, folks. Don't sign away to whatever at the hospital. QQQ. Are Charlie's kids safe right now? And are they being groomed to be a puppet too? Great question. I got to know. Oh, I just got this feeling that something I felt a heavy heart with him. Like, I don't know if him and Candace were fighting, but something about wished he would have reconciled or something. It's like he almost wants her to be able to look out for them and be kind of like an advocate with her willpower because she's so strong. Yeah, I got a real sad feeling just now. Are they being groomed to be puppets? Yes. Especially spiritually. It's interesting that he used the term puppet to describe her devoutness. Yeah, that's interesting. Is CO's husband her handler? No. Let's ask, does CO have a handler? No, they tried to in the past and she walked away from it. I imagine when it was maybe in between TPUSA and now, like working for herself on YouTube. Maybe was it Prager University or something? That might have been when Israel was also trying to control her. I don't know. Y'all would know better than me. Um, is someone trying to be her handler right now? I am quite worried about the visit with the cardinal in Italy. I will say my spidey snorkel went up. I was like, uh-oh, but I'm sure she knows to keep her head on a swivel. Does she, is there someone trying to handle her now? Yeah. About 5 people are trying to control what she says. But I feel like she knows how to work around these things. She's kind of got a better handle on it. Now, I will say this. I think we're gonna see publicly a huge awakening with Candace Owens again, like a second one. We've already seen the first one, but this is just like I was talking about. The full disclosure happens within us. And I know in my own life, I have PDF files, like real PDF files, not like the gross, creepy people. Like I have real files, like folders and folders and stacks of, files in my situation. And I can't imagine her library of factual evidence. It's exhausting, but it's necessary to share all of our truth and to pattern recognize what's going on in our lives, the system, because everybody has gone through some sense of corruption. I mean, think about the Epstein files, and it's got to touch us 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon somehow. And if that's at the top of the pyramid, just imagine exponentially how it's going to touch all of us, whatever country you live in, wherever. So it's about recognizing things that intuitively give you little hits and nudges and don't add up and are gaslighting on a mass scale. So I imagine that we will see a public awakening with Candace with her dreams. I do think Charlie is guiding her in the dream state. In fact, I think she's going to get a lot of visions now that she's pregnant and has all those hormones, because when you're pregnant, you're even more psychic. You're even more tapped in. And I think that he's going to be guiding her. I am feeling right now a very territorial energy around the cardinal meeting in Italy. And I think it's great. I think she's trying to root herself in her values and her Catholicism, which there's something good to take from every religion. But when you get into those high circles, you have to, and there's a lot of money backing it. You have to be very careful, because in a blink of an eye, they're flipping people. They're trying to control. And she's a hot commodity that they're trying to handle. That's for certain. There's 5 people I'm getting that are trying to handle her. Wait, what? How did I end up in the phone one? I don't know. Was it your face? I don't think so. Anyway. Will the e-files ever be totally revealed? No. Too much revenge was what I got. Too much public revenge. They don't want a riot. Too many people involved. It would cause massive financial loss. Oh, everything tracks back to money, unfortunately. Okay. CO stated that her dreams became incredibly clear after CK's passing. Cool. That's confirmation. I think, but in particular, I think these next few months, now that she's pregnant, she's going to have a lot more visitations from Charlie. And I do feel like he's very territorial right now. He would like, I'm getting the feeling that he's saying, like, you were worried about me with all the people when TP USA started growing big. He's like, now I'm worried about you, the people closing in around you. So I'm sure she knows, though. I'm sure she knows. I'm sure she's like a little paranoid now that Charlie's been unalived and stuff. She has to be. I just asked, is Candace Owens being mind controlled? I got to know. I know some people think she's like working for the CIA. Let's see. Is she working for the CIA? Well, that was interesting. I got one upright and one reversed. So maybe she gives them intel. Maybe she has an alliance with them, or maybe it's just because of the GATE program that she was part of, that maybe that's the DNA that they have. You know, there's all kinds of little backdoor ways that they like to feel like they own us or control us, you know. Candace is a pit bull. Yes, good thing. All good. I'm back in the normal one. Okay. All right. Well, Candace had to mourn Charlie twice, his assassination, then realizing Erika was involved, which broke her. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm really like predicting or like seeing, is that we're going to see a massive like spiritual awakening from Candace. I think she has psychic abilities. I think that's what's driving her. Why she has such great intuition. Like on top of that, she has journalism skills and mad research skills. I mean, she's a genius and loves to put together a good puzzle. But I think on top of that, the nudges, the intuition, and everything guiding her is also her psychic abilities that she doesn't realize she has. And honestly, that's what the GATE program targets: kids that have psychic abilities. You know what I mean? QQQ. Was the drone monitored from Fort? How do you say that? Huachuca? Huachuca? Yes. By a female, I might add. Was this a Leo? An Aquarius female. Little nugget there. Little hidden gem. Will the public become aware of Erika's affair while she was married? I feel like more will come out about her. Okay, it's being held under wraps. But remember, I channeled in the first episode. I said something is going to go awry with medical records. And what I just got here, again, medical records. And also something surrounding, I don't even know if I should say it, but it's like, I want to say that one of Erika's parents has deep ties and like pulling strings with what gets out in the media. And in particular, that person is still alive. But once they pass, they won't be able to keep a lid on something medically. That's what I'm getting. I don't know how. I don't know why. It's just, I've been reading for like 6-7 years now, and that's just how I get my information. When I get it, I just got to trust it. So there's something with that. So I do think eventually it will come out, but we'll be the ones that put it together. And yeah, there's some hierarchy going on, and a parent has really deep ties to covering up things in what is published. And for whatever reason, this is under lock and key in a vault and can't be accessed by anyone until this person loses their position, either in like the network or in life, is what I'm getting. So I'll just put it as a general statement. I'm not going to predict that this person's going to pass, but I don't like to put that type of stuff out there. But there's the block here with that information coming out is one of Erika's parents protecting her with connections, is what I'm getting. The program targeted my daughters, especially my youngest, who is extremely psychically inclined. Yeah, I was tested for gifted and talented 4 years in a row. And I remember I only had a question that would like, I remember the white walls, and I remember I just always remember my feet could never touch the ground and they were always swinging. And I always had the same question, and it was like, find the red truck. And I would almost lose my mind. My mother finally had to say, I'm not testing her anymore. You keep doing, she comes distraught. She comes home distraught every time I'll test her. And I didn't realize, I would never tell them that was the question that was like it making me implode, but it was just a blank question and it said, find the red truck. And I was like, what? And I would like search my entire booklet for a damn red truck. And now I feel like they were testing my clairvoyance. You know what I mean? Okay. QQQ. Is it Erika's mom who has the tires since she has military and government? The tires or the ties? The tires? What? Is Erika's mom who has the ties since she has military and government connection? Is it Erika's mom? Yes. And I just heard Erika's mom's the fence. And look, this is like a fence. I remember in my first reading, I kept talking about like Silicon Valley, the fence. Yeah, the ties. Let's ask, will Andrew Colvett and Erika's possible affair come out? Maybe. What's blocking it? Information about this. Maybe it's that private jet flight, but also I got home, like a stay at home or a trip to each one of their homes, that might get leaked. Who is it going to be leaked by? I heard a conservative. Can't make this stuff up. I don't even know what this means. I mean, that could be anybody. Is it a female? Someone angry. Someone angry. I will say that Erika did dirty. See, that's the thing. When you operate like this and then you're a horrible friend and then you got all these secrets, just cruising for a bruising. I feel like it's going to be an angry friend that she didn't pay the full amount she promised to. That's what I'm getting. My youngest was in the program, but she was always one to ask a lot of questions. The head lady that was running it got upset with her for it, and that was the end of her attending the group. Oh, yeah. I literally, still to this day, I'm like, but why? And people look at me and they're like, what do you mean, why? I just always ask, why? Like, it's funny. Some powers can't be controlled. They must be free. Yeah. Yeah. The true unicorns. The true unicorns need to unite. Let me see if I missed any questions. Yeah. When I was a kid, everything was why. Like I would just stare, but why? And people would be like, what do you mean why? Like, why did you do that? Let's see what else. What else do we need to know? Put some more good questions in the chat if you could think of any. All right, I'm getting a reference to a cat. I don't know what this means. Who's this cat belong to? Candace, maybe? Cat? Maybe this cat sees Charlie. There's something about that. Gets messages through the cat. Pay attention to the cat. That's what I'm getting. Was Erika at a hotel near Fort Huachuca on September 8th, like Mitch reported to Candace? Yes, but there is a significant lie that they've left out here. That's what I'm getting. I got the thief card. So it feels like technically they could say that, but there's something that's heavily guided, or like they're misdirecting on purpose. I don't know. There's something there that I'm channeling. Was China and or Russia briefed about the operation? Well, let me ask them separately. Was China briefed about the operation? I got a yes. And in particular, this is connected to the children. The transport, possibly. Was Russia briefed about the operation? No. That's why I got a no originally. Okay. That's why I felt intuitively to ask it in two parts. Okay. I'm good. I don't want people to know my birthday. I heard I've just been targeted so much, I don't want my information out there. Sorry about that. No personal, offense. Um, Patricia says Brian Harple was seemingly there too on the 8th. Yes. It Okay, thanks. Can y'all hear me now? Okay, you can hear me now? So I got, sorry, my mic, ran out of battery. I need to charge it. Yes. So the Civil War, I got a no to, but that there was going to be financial upheaval. And will there be like a protest? Yes. Also, something with the real estate market. That's what I was getting. Oh, do we have the threat of civil war? Yes, but it's further off. I don't, is this like, can we expect this in 2027? No. 2028? Maybe 2029 or 2030. But I do feel like there's going to be a lot of awakenings in the meantime. Hopefully, you know, humanity will like take the reins and wise up and won't give Mockingbird News any more energy or focus, and powers shift. I do see that happening. But I think the most immediate threat is more financial in nature. That's what I'm getting. And something significant with the real estate market is the first thing to maybe plummet. I'm good. Thank you, though. Tyler Boyer set up the date. What date? Oh, the Erika. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Barbara. Can you tell us anything more about what to expect for 2026? Okay. Oh, this is so cute. Okay, so I just felt like Charlie Kirk like beaming ear to ear. There's going to be some breakout moment for Candace, like she needs one, but a huge drop the mic moment. It has not come yet. And he's so proud of her. And this is going to be monumental. a shift in power, and he's so happy about it. And he's rooting her on. She is doing all the right steps in protecting herself. She's doing it methodically. And I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to give away, you know, I want to shake them. So, yeah. With the threat of TPUSA being exposed and the government ties that are involved with the assassination, will the government stage an alien invasion as a distraction? Yes. Will everyone believe it? Good. I'm glad, Patricia. It's giving you hope. We are the hope. I heard him just say. So yeah, we are the hope. We have to call people out on their lies when we see it. That's the most important thing. Yeah, I also, okay, so I just got clarification that just got the vision. I think Erika was having 2 affairs intermittently while she was married to Charlie Kirk. One that spanned the whole relationship and started before she met him, and one that started during the marriage, the end of the marriage, like the last 2 to 3 years. That's what I'm getting. Will this invasion happen this summer of 2026? Yes. Will it happen? Maybe like the end of July. We might see a lot more TikToks popping up. Is this going to be Project Bluebeam? Yes. I think that it's going to be a 50-50 split. I think, you know, maybe it might just get everybody that doesn't believe in aliens and thinks that it's all hogwash. Maybe just the Bluebeam, like Project Bluebeam, or like the fake invasions will get people more intrigued to do their research and look things up. So that might be kind of like a blessing in disguise that backfires on them. It'll make people awaken to doing their own research and digging and seeing through the illusions. Yeah, I got that was like a blessing in disguise or something. Yeah, I feel like she obviously was kind of like a handler sent in a plant and didn't do her job. And so they offed him. And it's very apparent, like, she shifted so much in even her style, just acting like who she was. It was not authentic, in my opinion. And with each growing year, it just gets more and more ridiculous, more and more sparkles, more and more fireworks. I don't know. It's very sensationalized. And yeah, I mean, will the distraction invasion be staged over Washington, D.C. or in multiple parts of America? Northeast. I think a couple will be in New York, maybe some in New Jersey and Washington, D.C. I'm getting. Did Erika have any feelings for Charlie at all? No. It was all money. I got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Sad. I think that's the biggest feeling that I'm getting through is the values, the spirituality, the religion. That's, I think, what he's most worried about, the kids and how they're being brought up, what they value. Okay, I'm going to ask more about Erika. Like, why did she do all this? Does she feel good at night when she goes to sleep with herself? Yes. Does she think she's in the right? Yes. She actually believes it. She actually believes her own. I mean, that's the true mark of a psychopath, right? Believing their own internal monologue. So I guess that proves, yeah, she's mind controlled or a victim of it. I opened up to the Hierophant. Traditional high up groups. Again, I'm getting drawn to that cardinal. I'm worried about the cardinal. I'm worried about the meeting. We're not supposed to listen to internal monologue. Uh-oh. I don't know what you mean by that, but. Will Erika run for vice president with JD Vance? Yes. All right. We're coming up to the hour. It's 1:08. Ooh, the number of enlightenment. If y'all have any more QQQs, put them in the chat. Any last little questions? And I'll let y'all go enjoy your weekend and the holiday, the 4th of July. She's a horrible human being. Candace said she thinks Erika believes her own lies. Does Erika have a personality disorder? I mean, I think it's more like a dissociation identity disorder, probably. Mind control. They have different alters they can pull out of people and, versions. And I think the tall tale sign is that she believes she's innocent. She believes what she's doing, but she really, she's not doing a great acting job though, like on interviews and stuff. So there's a part of her that like has to know, like even me, I'd go back and like rethink things, when you're put in such a vulnerable state like that. Like, I don't know, with me, I'd be dissecting every aspect of it, every avenue. You'd be kind of like wanting to know all the missing pieces, kind of like Candace, wanting to see every aspect and who was involved and, what could we have done differently so this doesn't happen again? It's like, maybe let's not pave immediately that Sunday and like dig up the dirt. That's a good question. Let's ask that. Why would they do that? Why would they dig up the dirt? What were they hiding? Something with the security. Where the security guard was standing, or where security or the Secret Service or whatever. I don't know. There's some significant where they were staged. They didn't want proof, something like that. Yep, Steve. Well, I'd call you a psychic myself as well. Will they win the presidency? No. I don't think so. Will we even have a presidency election? No. Which kind of tracks with the Last President book. And I'm going to end it on there. Have a wonderful night, guys. Thanks for being here. Love y'all.